Join us, the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast, on a journey where we delve into the heart of the matters that truly make a difference. Our mission is to create a platform where we can openly discuss topics that often go unnoticed or unexplored. We aim to shed light on these crucial issues and have meaningful conversations. We invite you to tune into our podcast, where we will explore the depths of these subjects and let our hearts guide the conversation. Together, we can create a space where everyone's voice is heard and where we can collectively work towards a better future. Welcome, everyone, to the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. I am your host, Nia Imani, and I have the pleasure of interviewing this lady. If you can see on the screen, she's wearing pink and green. If you can't, I'm just told you what she's wearing. Miss Erica, Erica, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it right this time. Thank you, Dr. Bailey, for the invite.
You're welcome. Now you can call me Nia. There you go.
There we go.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know what pink and green means, are you a Delta?
Shame on you. I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the first African-American sorority. So yeah.
Period. I am so excited to read your bio and just dive deep into why you are not only a beautiful woman, but so impactful. So everybody listen up closely. This beautiful lady, who is not a Delta, AKA, is currently employed full-time as a merchant services commercial credit analyst at Bank of America with an impressive 32-year tenure and looking like she's 33. I don't know how that's possible, but her dedication and expertise have made her an invaluable asset to the company. Her educational background includes a Bachelor of Science degree in business management, which she earned from Wilmington University. This foundation has undoubtedly contributed to her success in the financial services industry. In 2017, Erica faced a life-altering challenge when she discovered a lump in her breast. After receiving a diagnosis of stage 1 breast cancer, she embarked on a courageous journey of resilience and determination. Throughout her battle, Erica found solace and strength in her unwavering faith, the support of her loved ones, and her commitment to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. That's why you see this glow on her face, because she's the healthy lifestyle. Erica's experience with breast cancer became a turning point in her life, igniting renewed sense of purpose. In June 2021, she took on a part-time role as a survivorship specialist in Newcastle County for the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. In this capacity, Erica leads a support group called My Sister's Keeper, specifically designed to empower and uplift women of color facing breast cancer. Beyond her personal and advocacy work, Erica is an avid runner and traveler. She has proudly served as the former ambassador for Black Girls Run Delaware, promoting health and wellness within her community. With an impressive 12 marathons under her belt, Erica's passion for running led her to become a level 1 certified run coach through the Road Runners Club of America. That's not it, y'all. Okay? Erica's commitment to making a positive impact extends beyond her personal pursuits. She serves as a board member for I Can Do 26.2, a summer running program that encourages children from 4 to 12 to embrace an active lifestyle. Additionally, as we said, she's a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., where she actively engages in community service and uplifts others through sisterhood. Above all, this beautiful woman cherishes her role as a parent to 5. How was that possible? And 2 beautiful grandchildren. Her love and devotion to her family are evident in all aspects of her life. Erica is an inspiring individual who has faced adversity with unwavering strength and grace. Her journey through breast cancer has not only shaped her own life, but has allowed her to touch the lives of others through her continual advocacy work. With her dedication to her career, passion for running, and commitment to community service, Erica continues to make a lasting impact on those around her. How is it that you look like you 12 and you have this long resume?
I don't know. I can't explain it myself.
My
Healthy,
first,
active lifestyle. Maybe that's part to do with it.
okay, because, all right, that's what it is. Now, first, we just have to jump into with this beautiful resume we just read, but who do you say you are?
So I would say I am a child of the Most High God. I am a servant and I am an overcomer.
Mm,
That's me in a nutshell.
You forgot to add beautiful, but there we okay. I'll take it. Now let's go back to this 32 years and you 33, but so the young people say the math ain't
The
mathing.
math
But
ain't nothing.
let's go to this. Okay, 32 years at Bank of America. Let's start here. How about we need to go back?
Okay, so
Why did you get into finances? Tell us about schooling and then tell us about Bank of America.
okay, so you're getting the exclusive because I haven't really shared this, but I'll reference my father a lot because my father impacted a lot of who I am. So in high school, I was slated to go to college to be a pharmacist. That was my original career path. So I applied to three colleges: University of Delaware, Temple University, and Howard University, and was accepted to all three. I ended up going to the University of Delaware in the pre-pharmacy program, and by the time I got to organic chemistry, that was a turning point because it was super, super hard. And I ended up not doing well. So after 3 semesters of college at the university, I ended up leaving the university, moved back home with my parents. And my father at the time was pursuing his master's degree at the University of Delaware, and he was working part time at MBNA. So I had accompanied him to a lot of the different Christmas parties and they call them corn boils back in the day.
Mhm.
So it was a huge picnic, basically, that family and friends were invited to attend, and MBNA spared no expense. I mean, it was extravagant. And so my father said, I think you should apply at MBNA. I was like, man, this is nice. Like all these beautiful things. So definitely. So I ended up applying, and I started part time in the telesales department. So I was that annoying person that called you to to sell credit cards. um, and I was good at it, and so I did that for about a year, and then I transitioned to full time. So I started my first full time job was in customer service at the bank, and the wonderful thing about being able to work full time at the bank is that I was able to put myself through school. So while I didn't finish, my original plan, which was pharmacy, I was able to pursue my degree in business management and graduate with no student loans. So kudos
Woo!
to to MBNA to financing my undergraduate education. So MBNA later was bought out by Bank of America, and I have been in multiple capacities for, like I said, the 32 years. And I think for me, the thing that really kept me at the organization, certainly finance. the paycheck. But beyond that, I think it's the people that I've come in contact with. I've had amazing peers, management. Everyone's just been super amazing. And, even people that have left the organization have gone on to become entrepreneurs, they've become educators. And, I have no regrets. I'm grateful for the experiences and the life lessons taught at both companies, at both Bank of America and MBNA, which is where I got my start.
That's amazing. So number one, shout out to Daddy.
Shout
And
out to
yeah, and number two, what was that like? Not going for your original goal, but then that transition where did it hurt you? Were you okay because you knew that you would have a plan B? Like, can you just talk to us about that? Because I think sometimes when those who are listening, whether you're younger, older, whatever, you are so focused on your goal that you may feel defeated, but you're telling us per your life that yes, you didn't focus on your another goal, but you were able to have another goal. And look at you now.
Yeah. I think the big thing for me was that pharmacy goal probably wasn't really my goal. It was, something that my father, as I said, he was an educator, so he always stressed the importance of STEM related fields. And so I think that was more his goal more than mine. Um, and I have great respect and love for my father, so I pursued it. But um, that organic chemistry, it was the knife. I commend everyone in the field of STEM. But sometimes God will take you on a different direction and a different path, and for me that was the case. And I am grateful that even though I didn't pursue a degree in STEM, three of my four children have pursued degrees. So my firstborn is a physicist. My daughter just graduated with her degree in biology, and my youngest is in one of the top neuroscience programs in the country. So I'm super happy and excited that three of my four are in STEM related fields. So it wasn't for me, but my children are definitely excelling in it. So happy and proud about that.
And not only did they get in STEM, they got in STEM. I mean,
All the way.
woo!
Yeah.
That is shout out to you. That's amazing. That is amazing.
But definitely, sometimes life will throw you a curveball, and it's just about being resilient and being able to make lemons out of lemonade. And
Mhm.
so that's what I did with my situation.
I love it. And speaking of being resilient, tell us about 2017. Tell us that whole journey of what you felt and treatment and advocacy. Tell us about that.
So in 2017, physically, I was in the best shape of my life. I had just run the Boston Marathon, and I know we'll talk a little about that. But shortly after the race, I discovered a lump in my breast, and initially I didn't really think much of it, but it was a persistent pain, and so I did, consult my OBGYN, and she sent me for a series of follow-up testing, which was later confirmed as stage 1 breast cancer. And I didn't think breast cancer when I found it because, like I said, I was physically in great shape. My mammograms were all up to date, and so when I heard those words, "You have breast cancer," it was like the rug was pulled out from underneath of me, and it was a very trying time. I think for a couple of weeks after I had been diagnosed, I was kind of like a walking zombie. Like I was forgetting appointments, different things. And so, I had a great support system of friends and family that stepped in terms of my parents and how they took it. So my father is an extrovert. My mother's an introvert. I'm a good mix of both. But when I shared my diagnosis with my father, he immediately went into tears, full blown tears. And, I found myself having to console him and say, it's going to be okay. My mother, on the other hand, immediately went to researching, and she basically took over my care, my medical care. So she made a plan. We went and saw two different doctors. And what I appreciated most about that process is my mother didn't she let me make my own choices in terms of which doctor to go with. She presented the information and said, it's your body, it's your choice. Whatever you choose to do is what we'll do. And so I opted to get treated at University of Penn in Philadelphia. My treatment plan included a lumpectomy, which is a surgical procedure to remove just a cancerous lump. And then I had 5 weeks of radiation. And when I say it was a journey, it was a journey, but several life lessons out of it. So I'm grateful for all of them.
Number one, shout out mom. And your story points to so much. So feeling your body, the power, and just being okay with a second opinion, the research. I mean, were you feeling your body every month?
Probably not, but there was a pain, a piercing pain in that one spot. It was probably the size of maybe like a pea-sized shape, and it was very hard and it was painful to touch. But I am grateful for my OBGYN because she didn't ignore my symptoms. And, sometimes that happens a lot, especially in the medical field. She immediately sent me for the follow-up testing. I mean, she could have easily said, your mammograms are up to date, we'll check it another time. But she immediately sent me for the supplemental screening that was able to detect the cancer and get me the diagnosis.
Good, good. And for anybody that's listening, you said pain. Was it painful, like you had to take a Motrin? Like, I'm just trying to, like, so somebody may be listening, they're like, I feel that. Was it only painful where you touched it? Or, can you just explain that?
Yeah, it was painful to the touch. As long as I didn't touch it, it was fine. But when I put pressure on it or felt, around that area, it was very painful.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And you mentioned your parents, but how did your children take it?
So my son was a high school senior at the time. My daughter was a junior, and my twins were middle school. So they were old enough to understand what was happening. And, you try to shield some things from them as much as possible. But I did explain what was happening, and they were an integral part of my healing process as well. So I think that they I think that they internalized a lot of, what they felt only because they know Supermom, and they didn't necessarily like to see their mom going through such a painful experience. So I think that they were that they kept a lot of their emotions inside. I don't think that they really expressed how they felt.
So you certainly turn lemons into lemonade because you decided to just help other people. You decided to join the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition and then take it a step further and lead and join My Sister's Keeper. Can you talk to us about that?
God uses the pain in our lives and turns it into our purpose. And in 2021, I joined a small but mighty group of women in the state of Delaware called the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, whose um, sole purpose is to provide outreach, education, and support services for the state of Delaware. And in my role in that capacity, I facilitate a program called My Sister's Keeper, which is a support group for women of color. And just a little bit about how that was formed. So we had a survivor. Her name is Lynette. She was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 27, which is a lot younger than the normal diagnosis. So she came to the agency, and one of the programs that we offer is peer mentoring. And since our inception, we have certified over 300 breast cancer survivors to serve as peer mentors. So Lynette was assigned with a peer mentor, and after they had met a couple of times, she realized that she didn't really have much in common with her mentor. Lynette, again, was a 27-year-old Black woman, and she was assigned a much older white woman. So she came to the agency and asked if she could start a program specifically geared towards women of color. And so that's how My Sister's Keeper was birthed. And subsequently, her twin sister was diagnosed 2 years later at the age of 29. Wow. And Lynette was able to serve as her sister's peer mentor. So she was able to pay it forward too.
Truly her sister's keeper.
Keeper.
Wow. What do you all do at My Sister's Keeper? Is it just a community where if you're a woman of color, you can lean on each other, you can talk about things? Can you just describe what it's like being a part of My Sister's Keeper?
Sure. I think the main thing is just the support. We get survivors that are referred to us. And I think one of the best things for me in the role is just seeing the transformation, how women come to the table. When you're initially diagnosed, you are anxious, you're fearful, you're angry, you're sad. And it's just a space where we come and, because we are survivors, we get it. We understand all of the emotions that come along with the breast cancer diagnosis. So it's a place where survivors can come and just be and just express how they're feeling. But in addition to just listening, we do offer different types of programming. So we have specialists such as yourself come and and share. We talk hair care, we talk emotional health, we talk diet and exercise. So all of the things that encompass a breast cancer diagnosis, we pretty much touch all of those things.
That's phenomenal. And I'm just going to say, because this is a little, I guess now it's taboo. I don't even know the word, but I feel like everything's DEI, right? Anyway, so my point is, why is it important to talk about Black breast cancer?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking it. So the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition has a campaign running on their website, and it says, "First is the worst. Being first isn't always a good thing." Mm-hmm. And so specifically in the state of Delaware, we are being impacted by a specific subtype of breast cancer called triple negative breast cancer. And we are currently number one in the country. And that's a startling statistic. And, my goal is to continue to bring awareness to it. Black women in general are diagnosed with more aggressive stages of breast cancer. We are diagnosed at much earlier ages, and our mortality rate is higher. So we have a 41% higher mortality rate than white women. And so it is important for us to segment Black breast cancer. And those are the reasons why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm. I'm never going to say, I would never say, I'm glad you got breast cancer, but it's almost as if God used you in a way so that you can be super, super impactful. Do you feel that way, or?
Absolutely. I don't think anything happens without a reason. And, my part of my journey in life is to, be diagnosed with breast cancer, to teach me about, things in myself, but also to be able to pay it forward. And, that's a mantra that I live by in terms of when I've experienced things in my life, I pay it forward. That's just who I am.
Okay. Not only beautiful, you're impactful. Okay, that's cool. And so, one of the ways you pay it forward, you were on the board of Black Girls Run and I Can 26.2, and you ran 8 million marathons. Talk to us about all of this.
So I became an ambassador for Black Girls Run in 2020. Um, my running journey started in 2015 as a result of things that were happening in my life personally. I had gone through a depression. I was overweight, hypertensive, and just in a bad space, both emotionally and physically.
Mhm.
So I did seek out counseling to deal with the emotional side of the depression. I joined a new church home, which helped with the spiritual side of it and helped me to realize that there are seeds of greatness on the inside of me. And then I needed to start with the physical aspect of things. So I got a gym membership. I started working out with a friend of mine who, shout out to Lisa. She's probably the only person that I know that literally lost over 100 pounds just with modifying her diet and exercise. No surgery, no special things, just good old fashioned work. So Lisa was my gym buddy. We would go to the gym, every as much as we could, especially longer on the weekends. And I started to come to enjoy the exercise part of my fitness regimen, and I started hearing all these wonderful things about Black Girls Run. I said, I want to check this out and see what it's all about. So on New Year's Day, Black Girls Run offers a New Year's Day meetup, and it's hosted at Glasgow Park in Delaware. And I went to the meetup, and I never looked back. It was if I had found my place, and I went from running a 5K that day. My first half marathon was in March of that year. And then I went from a half marathon to training for my first full marathon in November of that year. So 2015 was my first marathon in Philadelphia. And again, I never looked back. Running was a big part of my breast cancer journey. It was how I coped. It was, how I, kept my emotions intact. And so I ended up, be serving as an ambassador just as my way of giving back. And it was a difficult time because, how do we stay connected when we're all isolated throughout the pandemic? So it was challenging, but I, as much as I could, I tried to foster a sense of sisterhood, and a lot of the women in my life that are put my sister circle, we all met through my experience of running, and we're connected to this day. And so um, when once the world started to open up, ladies that had goals of running, any type of distance, whether it was their first 5K or their first marathon, we made sure that they were supported. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of Black Girls Run is just having that support for individuals that want to pursue a common goal. So it was a great experience.
That is amazing. And what other marathons have you ran? Because I couldn't even get the word out 12. It was just.
So 12 is the number of completion. So my marathon shoes are officially retired, but I was able to achieve a goal of running the World Marathon Majors, which are the top 6 marathons in the world. So um, Boston, New York, Chicago, London, Tokyo, and Berlin, Germany.
What was that like?
I tell you, my first international race, that was a little nerve-wracking because I traveled to Germany by myself. And I said, my roommate at the time, she's from Nigeria and she travels all the time. So I said, as long as I can make it to her, then I'll be okay. So I remember getting off the plane and trying to find my way to the expo. And for those that travel internationally, Google Maps is your best friend. So um, got on Google Maps, found out where I was supposed to go, and I went to like a kiosk to purchase my bus pass, and all of the words were in German. So stood there, I stood there for a second, and I was like, help. Turned around, and the gentleman behind me pressed one button on the machine and it turned the language from German to English.
Thank
So
God.
so I was able to make it to my friend, and that was just the first of many international experiences. I love traveling abroad. It's so wonderful to experience different cultures, and to run a race in a different place. It's amazing.
What is the difference in running in a different country? Is it just the location? Is it the energy? Is it the atmosphere?
I would say all of those things. So the World Marathon Majors, there are about 40,000 runners that participate in this race. So, number one, the number of runners that come from all over the world to participate in the race is incredible. The crowd support is amazing. Sometimes you have your name on your bib, and when you're running, you'll hear people say, "Go, Erica!" And I'm like, I don't know you, but okay, thank you. So that's always fun. Experiencing the culture of different countries, experiencing the food. It's an amazing experience all around.
That's amazing. And then you decided to also help and be a part of I Can Do, what is it, 26.2? Tell us about that.
Yes. So one of my I call her my forever coach. She was there for me in 2015 when I ran my first half marathon. Her name is Chika Chukwucha, and she founded I Can Do 26.2 as a way to fight childhood obesity. We realized that kids have a sedentary lifestyle, and we wanted to combat that. And we also realized that setting good habits as a child will then put you in a good place to have good habits as an adult. And obesity puts us at risk for so many different things in terms of heart health, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of those things. And so I Can Do 26.2 was founded 10 years ago. We have grown exponentially since inception, and we promote healthy, active lifestyles with nutrition. And so we have a 6 week summer running program where throughout the course of the 6 weeks, the participants will run a distance of a marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So yeah, it's a great program.
This entire interview, I need my inhaler. That is amazing. Like you said this before, but each time you're really paying it forward.
Absolutely. That's that's how I live. That's how I live my life, is just, serving those organizations and those people that are meaningful to me.
Mm. I know people are listening and watching and they're like, maybe I want to be AKA. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm a Black woman and how can I get in touch? My child definitely needs to be a part of 26.2. Um, I need to learn how to run. Like all these different things that people are thinking and saying, how can they get in contact with?
Absolutely. So the website for our organization for breast cancer is www.debreastcancer.org. And there you can find me listed. And if you need to shoot me an email or get in touch that way, you can. Um, for the summer running program, our website is iCanDo 6.2kids.com. And so we're gearing up again for our 10th year. Super excited. We have a lot of great things in store for the kids.
You are. And I feel like not only do I need my hair, I feel like I'm tired. Like, how do you do it all? You are a child, you are a parent, you volunteer with many organizations, you work 32 years but are 33. How do you balance it all?
So we didn't really talk about the keys to my diagnosis, and the same keys that I used through my breast cancer journey are the same keys of how I manage this crazy, beautiful life of mine.
Talk to us about the keys.
So faith, fitness, friends, and family, those are my 4 keys. So faith certainly is what helped to sustain me through my diagnosis. You know, um, there's nothing that will shake your world more than getting a diagnosis of cancer. And so I think that going through that experience definitely strengthened my faith. And my faith is how I am able to manage life storms, how I manage getting through the days. Fitness for me, I'm in the point of my life where fitness is just a part of my life. It's part of my lifestyle. I don't feel like my day has started properly if I don't have 30 minutes of movement. And so, um, whether it's running, cycling, swimming, hiking, walking, it doesn't necessarily have to be running a marathon like me, but just any type of movement is good for your body. And so that's one of the things that I focus on. And then also friends and family. So my support system. You can't get through life alone. We weren't meant to go through life alone. And so, having what I call sister friends, having support through your friends and family, it helps you to navigate things. And then outside of those 4 keys, I do rest. That's a big thing for me. So those people that know me, I am lights out at 9 p.m. I get up at really early, so I normally I'm up around 4. So making sure that my body is properly rested is important, and then also just setting boundaries, knowing when to say no, because I feel like self care is a kind of self love, and while we want to do and be and serve and do everything, um, sometimes realistically it's not possible to do that. So um, yeah, just making sure that I have balance in my life, and make sure I have make room for all of those things that bring me joy.
You are preaching because I'm just thinking, like, just as in particularly for me, and this can go for any woman, but as a Black woman, I feel like culturally we always have to wear the S on our chest. But you're telling me that yes, while you are Superwoman, you are going to rest. You are going to pour into yourself. You are going to move your body. You are going to eat nutritiously. And because you're Superwoman, you know to feel your body. You know to advocate for yourself. Your life literally has proven not only to be good in the spiritual sense, but good to help other people that look like us. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like I'm just sitting like just every like it's okay that things don't work out because the way that you thought it was. Because you know the saying, the way to make God laugh is to tell him your plan. So he was like, okay, but this is where I want you, you know?
Yeah.
And then for you to just not only work but excel, because let's be real, especially nowadays, people, and no shade to anybody, but they don't last 30 minutes at a job. But you have lasted 32 years.
It's a work ethic for sure. I just think of all of the different phrases. MBNA used to have like different phrases over every doorpost. Think of yourself as a customer, or what gets attended to gets done. Attention to detail drives everything we do, and so this is what has been ingrained in me, and so that has pretty much shaped, um, in terms of my work ethic, how I approach things.
Mm. And I feel like I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask, when you get up at 4 in the morning, are you rushing to get through your day, or are you like intentional about, I'm getting up at 4 a.m., I'm doing this, I'm doing that? Like, are you intentional? If I can talk, if you are you intentional about how you start your day?
Yes.
Mm.
So, faith is how I start my day. So, um, meditation time. I will watch the news, prepare for the week. If I need to prepare food, um, things, I don't like to be rushed, even though sometimes I do find myself, because I'll be at the gym or, working out, and the time goes by and I'm like, oh shoot, work. So, um, yeah, that's my regimen is, um, reading the word, watching the news, working out, and then preparing for my day.
I love that. I said that because I knew the answer, although I didn't like really know. But you're pouring into all of us because I rush in the morning and I feel like I never have time for myself, but you're giving yourself time to give thanks, but also give time for yourself too.
For sure.
That's good advice.
That's a form of self-care, taking that time for yourself. Because how can you pour if your vessel is empty?
Mm,
So you have to make yourself a priority. And it's not being selfish, you have to pour into yourself before you pour into others.
your parents and the Lord did a great job with you. I mean, yeah. You're just be prepared to get a lot of calls between Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, my sister's keeper. I can do point 26.2. I want to be AKA. I want to lose 33. Just be prepared.
My doors are open.
Um, the last thing I want to say is there anything on your heart that you just want to share to anybody that may be listening and watching?
Like we said, life sometimes can throw us curveballs, but just being in a position to make lemons out of lemonade, making lemonade out of lemons, if I could talk right.
Hey, listen, we
And,
heard you.
just making sure that you're putting God first, that you are making yourself a priority, and making sure that you're giving back.
If you are watching this, you can see the picture in the back of her. And I've always have known this picture to be, if you are, the only time you look down on someone is if you are extending a hand down to help them up. Why do you have that in your office?
So it's the title of that print is called "He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother,"
Mm,
and it just to me signifies the importance of reaching back and giving back, and so that's like I said, a big part of who I am, and a big part of my lifestyle.
mm. You have heard Pastor Erica, aka avid runner, marathoner, humanitarian, philanthropist, child of God, mother, grandmother, 33 years old, and what did I miss something?
I think you got it all.
Make sure you reach out to this beautiful lady. She is impactful. She is pure. She means what she says. and she is literally the best guest to be on the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. It's like this title was named for her.
I've seen some of your guests. I would beg to differ with you.
Well, how about I'll say all of y'all are, okay?
There you go.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Bailey. I appreciate it.
Nia, just like you said, I can't say Miss Erica.
Thank you, Nia.
You have listened to the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. Reach out to Erica. I was going to say Miss Erica. Erica, Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, my sister's keeper. I can do 26.2 kids, AKA marathoner. Anything that you're thinking of while listening and watching this, reach out to her, and your life will not only be impacted, but blessed. God bless everybody.
Thank you for joining us on the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. Remember, each conversation brings us closer to a world where compassion thrives. Stay connected, stay informed, and let's keep the heartbeat of humanity alive. Subscribe, share, and be a part of our journey to make a difference, one conversation at a time. Until next time, keep your hearts open, your minds curious, be a blessing to others, and give agape love. God bless.